I'm gonna keep that one because I'm just one of the problems.
Well, I mean, like,
Did all that, and all that, you should have done that earlier today.
You'll never.
it's up to you, and he gave me a.
Yeah, he did mention
I don't
that.
have, you want me to bring the agenda?
There are 500 spots.
I just have to have a mother make it work, so, but I don't want to.
No, I think that's okay, because I just put it to
And what when she called them up, what they said was, yeah, we know, but there are parking spots a mile and a half away. And I'll tell you, I don't want my daughter walking a mile and a half at 11 o'clock at night. So I'm getting myself worked up, and so I want to make sure I don't, and I have all the facts.
I will be the pictures and whatnot.
Take the steps, I talk to the parking authority first, get the data, and then see what it's from.
But it might. Yeah, we work. Since we got done.
And he's gonna do that.
Jeff, we have a football game to watch. I know you don't go.
I was yesterday. And you know what, when we play Monday night?
Now,
We're gonna have a meeting.
We're gonna call a special one for pleasure.
I wouldn't put it past you.
Budget and personnel issues.
yeah, right.
I'm out of town.
Call to order the regular common council meeting Monday, September 20th, 7:02 PM. Roll call.
Braun, Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis, Burdick,
Yes.
I know Braun's excused, I don't know Paul's status, so. Next item is pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What is excused? What does that mean? You give 24-hour notice, you give 10-minute notice?
Right before the meeting.
Okay,
You said you're not gonna be here, I guess, that,
okay.
as long as you
That's
tell us you're
enough.
not gonna be here, yeah.
Seems like it should be more than that.
The more notice would be ideal, especially for small committees, so we appreciate that when you can let us know.
Next item is confirmation of meeting notice.
Meeting was noticed on Friday, September 17th. Agendas were posted at Post Office, Library, City Hall, and City website.
Thank you. Council acceptance of agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Personal appearances, anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on anything that's not on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on to the minutes from September 7th.
Motion to approve September 7th committee council meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Finance Committee,
Finance met this evening at 6:45. Motion to approve bills and payroll in the amount of $312,165.27.
And I'll second.
any questions on the bills? Hearing none, roll call?
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
There were no license applications this evening. Motion to approve waiving the rental fee for Racetrack Park Shelter for Yagara Community Club Annual Fall Festival.
And I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay.
I won't tell you what happens.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
I got 5 days.
And that's it for finance.
Thank you. Anything to report from zoning?
No, 4 hearings.
Public Works?
Public Works met earlier today. Discussed the Dane County Natural Mitigation Planning Problem Statement, which we approved and submitted. That was, or approved for submission. That was presented to us. We discussed sidewalk or bike path on River Road. We are gonna get some ideas, estimates, and have the engineer look at some stuff before we proceed with it. We went over a couple of different ideas with staff, and they're gonna check into it from there. We went over Howard's wish list, which y'all see soon enough. And that's about it. Howard had South Mains moving along fine. Sanitary sewers should be done this week. Lead laterals should be done by Thursday. They'll be back later on to do some restoration, picking up their equipment. Striping, as you can tell, is moving along downtown crosswalks, and Bristol Pines sanitary line repair, or, can't even read my own writing, sanitary line must start. What do you got?
That's for the new subdivision.
For the new sub, Bristol Pines, okay, yep. And that's it.
You said, Howard, earlier, you said the downtown sidewalks project's gonna start this week?
It's tentatively scheduled to start this week, yeah. First thing will be setting up the detour.
Homecoming parade going through downtown
Yep.
Friday?
We'll have to start, other than the parade route. Which I assume they can accomplish.
I'll make sure they're aware of that.
Thank
Or
you.
you could be in the parade as you're doing that parade.
That'd be a treat.
Be right behind it, put stuff.
Yeah, right back.
All right, thank you, thanks, Jim. Personnel?
Yeah, personnel has met twice, the first one on September 13th, and then again this evening at 6 o'clock. The committee is discussing the wage study that was prepared and completed by GovHR. I don't know if everybody has received a copy of that. If not, you can get one from Cindy or Ramona, but I would take a look at that, just so you know, as we discuss at budgeting time, there's going to be a lot of discussions the committee has to move forward with, and there'll be financial implications. So you guys may want to take a look at that wage study. But bottom line, it shows that we are below the minimum with comparable to our peers as far as starting salaries. So we're in the process of looking at bringing some of the more senior library assistants and the director up to at least the minimum. And then also looking at other positions and bringing them up to at this point, 25% of their salary range if they have 10 years or more service. Also looking at a longevity piece of incremental steps every 5 years. A lot to discuss, but we're putting numbers to each of those decisions. So once we know those numbers, that'll help guide us through the rest of the process. So looking at many, many things, also paid time off, medical insurance, health insurance, a whole gamut of things. So still working through that. That's it for personnel.
Thank you.
Okay, you too. Say it.
Utilities.
Utilities met on the 13th, September 13th, and pretty routine meeting, other than we did discuss the 2022 budget, and there'll be a few things in the budget to discuss, and at least one or two of them, some awesome ideas for some equipment that Howard is going to be recommending for our water guys. So while it'll be a little bit of a cost up front, it's going to save man hours like crazy. We're gonna make up the cost of the purchase in no time at all. So we'll be seeing that during budget time, but that's it for utilities.
Thank you. Next item is discuss street closing for wedding on Falk Drive and Martha Street. Must be why you're back there.
Okay, so I have a question about it. Can we have discussion before we make a motion? Okay, good. So you're not looking for a street closure, is that correct? No street closure.
It'd be the street.
It would be a street closure.
It would be in between the intersection of Martha and Falk, and then our other neighbor on Falk's driveway. So every driveway would still have access to the road. So we just close off, do you have that picture?
Yeah, that was my only question, I couldn't make.
So the two red line,
anybody who lives there that needs to get into their driveway, in and out, can.
yeah, we won't even be blocked their driveway. So they can take Martha or they can take Falk, kind of.
That's what I wanted to know.
Have you talked to your neighbors?
Yeah, we told them, you're gonna let us do it or else no.
Or can they join? They can
No, we
join.
discussed it with them before we even contacted the city. And then I think I spoke with Shannon, she said, if we're blocking driveways, we need to have a letter. Or I think she initially told us we need to have a letter from the neighbors, I was like, yeah, no problem. But then she reached out to us, since we're not blocking any driveways, so. Yeah, they seem to be okay with it, they know, we gave everybody a letter with our plans, and they're all invited. And then we have, a number for them to reach out with not us, but in our immediate family, in case they have concerns. And we kind of give them a timeline, making sure it's the same as what you guys.
So this is the first I've ever had to maybe make a decision on like this.
For a street closure permit?
Yeah. Now, I have for black parties where we've had to have neighbors approve, you know.
Neighborhood.
In my neighborhood, yeah, but that feels different than this, because we had to have signatures, and it was just very different. I'm just trying to think, are we missing anything that we need to
And
make sure that
I
it
don't want
was
you guys to feel
smooth?
any pressure, it's not detrimental, we're getting ready
No.
to do it. So I don't want you to- no pressure.
That's your shot, I know. I want to make sure it's a success for you and that
Oh,
there's
no, I
no
appreciate it.
complaints.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, I mean, are we missing anything that somebody, does it call you, chief, and say,
We
we
reached
got
out to-
something going on down
We
here?
did reach out to, and
Did you invite him
This is the
too?
first time here I see it.
I reached out and I got the Edgerton Police Department, I told them what we were doing.
Okay.
Because officers are welcome to stop by, or if we get too rowdy or anything. She took down my information, and then,
Chief, what is it, anything that?
The only thing I would be concerned about is emergency vehicles get through, but I would imagine somebody could move whatever needs to be moved.
Yeah, and we were gonna, about the only thing we'd have on the street would be chairs. And it's more for just kind of keeping the traffic out of that area. I mean, it's not like we're gonna set up a big,
But she has a good point. If somebody along that way needed an ambulance, or if there was fire, you know,
yeah.
we want to make sure that there would be,
And the other thing too is, not to say that somebody's not paying attention, not you guys, but somebody driving by and don't see chairs. So if you're gonna do this, I would suggest at least a blockade of some sort.
And then I was gonna ask Howard, the public works guy,
Yeah.
if you guys wanted me
Because
specifically.
it's easy to move that, but you get somebody who's not paying attention or who wants to cut through, I'm just thinking about the safety of your party. So, and easy access if somebody needs to get through.
Yeah.
So, 'cause trust me, I'm not shy to shut things down.
You never shut down any of our parties.
That means,
He didn't know about it.
that means you guys have been behaving.
Yeah, that's true. We will be serving alcohol, we won't be charging, we're not,
oh,
we can't
nobody
have
serves
anything.
alcohol in their backyard.
Yeah, we're not having anything past the sidewalk. So no alcohol on the sidewalk or any city property, it'll just be private. And it's a licensed bartender, but we're not charging for it, so.
And you've got the same sound stage that was down here for Chili Mania, that's gonna be set up near
Yeah, Billy Ray's gonna stop over again.
No.
Would you do me a favor? Call the fire department,
Okay, yeah,
just to give them a heads up that evening. This is gonna be going on and they will make note of it in the event there's a 911 call.
just so they know.
They will know that, and then at least they won't come barreling in there going, what the devil is going on?
And there's gonna be enough people there, I would think everybody could move anything fairly quickly, but yes.
Yeah, but you, Paul could come in, you wouldn't know about it
That's
Right,
true.
yeah. And
until
all of a
they're
sudden you-
there.
right.
So just give them a heads up, and you can tell the city this approved it, but suggested that you gave the fire department a heads up this is going
Okay,
on.
yeah, not a problem. I'm gonna reach back out to the.
I'll take care of that.
Okay.
I'll send a message to the afternoon guys that'll be working.
Okay,
So I'll take care of that.
and they can stop by and have some.
Sure.
I tell you what we're serving, but then
Geez, I might have to walk over.
it's full court, so.
Don't forget your council, we still have to approve this.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry about us.
Hey,
It's those
your
people.
guys' invites are in the mail,
Up
too.
there, I was gonna say he's waiting for the invite. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the street closing for a wedding on Falk Drive / Martha Street.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Andy Davis,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Burdick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Well, thank you, congratulations, good luck.
Kind of feel like I should've got one, though.
I can veto it yet.
I gotta quit talking.
I got 5 days to veto it, so.
Unless you invite them.
It's in the mail, he said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unless you want to stay for this wonderful discussion.
Oh.
It might involve. Discuss and consider, did I say that motion passed?
Yeah.
Okay. Discuss and consider redistricting of city.
So, you had handouts at your spots, but the colors are really hard to print out in black and white. So, this is, the first page is just what the existing district plan is from 2010 with the new population numbers. So you can see how disproportionate they are on the bottom. Basically, we have about 6,000 people. So each district should have around 2,000 voting members. So District 1, or Wards 1 and 2 make up District 1, 3 and 4 make up District 2, 5 and 6 make up District 3, and then we have a portion of Dane County that currently is part of District 1. With the new plan, it just makes more sense that the Dane County should probably be in District 3 because it's an extension and becoming even more of an extension off from this area off from District 3. So when I was trying to do this, I came up with two different plans. So anybody questions about what the existing and the numbers are there?
The numbers you have here now are both Rock and Dane, correct? No.
No, Dane is a complete, there's no way to combine the two counties together with the redistricting maps. So Dane County has not released the information to us yet, but I did find on the website that we have about 150, 160 people in Dane County. So Dane County will be its own ward, and then we can assign it whatever district we want, but it should be contiguous, so it just makes sense to come off from District 3 or Wards 5, 6, and Dane County 7, combine those three. So the biggest challenge with this is, as you can see from the map, there's these little numbers assigned. Those are the census blocks and the number of people within those blocks. Given Edgerton has some really wide open spaces, you can see there's like 533 people in one census block right here. And over by the 6, there's 419 people in another census block, making it difficult to try to maneuver this and make it equalized. So this will be the first time that we'll have to cross Highway 51. 51 and 59 have always kind of been the division lines. District 3 has always been those that are, let's see, what is that? East of Highway 51. But given District 1 is so landlocked, there's not a lot of growth there. I keep having to expand into the other areas. So with the first proposal, you'll see down on the bottom of the map, Ward 4, which is part of District 2, actually would cross over Highway 51 to the south. The reason I went that way is because it's kind of they're similar in character as far as newer homes, new growth. You've got your West Meadows, your Hayne Road area, which is all more of a newer development. Excuse me. So to make this work, I just went to the south and kind of creeped back up. And as you can see, the numbers work out fairly well. District 1 comes up with just over 2,000 people because there's very little growth in that area. That would be this light blue area and the purple area. It's kind of the older neighborhoods, not a lot of land to develop. 3 and 4 still have some growth. There's the new condos going up out in West Meadows. There's the potential down at the bottom, down in the Orchard Heights area. So there's growth there. District 5 and 6 will now encompass the new development off from Cherry Street. So there's growth there plus the growth in Dane County. So that's one proposal I wanted to show you. The last one, I tried to focus more maybe on keeping the downtown centralized. So I crossed Highway 51 in the downtown. So it goes over to Broadway Street, and The census blocks follow the creek, so it encompasses both sides of the street over to Broadway Street and Chaucer, leaving the rest of District 2 on the west side of 51, and District 3, other than that little chunk right in the middle, pretty much on the east side. So I just wanted to present those because I will be gone. I wanted to start working on this and get your feeling on which proposal you like, because we'll have to do an ordinance, and it needs a public hearing. The county has not yet voted on the district maps, but they've reassured me that the city will not be divided by a supervisory district in Rock County. So, you know, we're pretty much all in one area. We're not going to be dictated by another land or another district division. So, kind of short and sweet, but I guess the one nice thing about any of these plans is our aldermanic, our current aldermen are all pretty centrally located in each one of their districts, so it doesn't displace any of our elected officials. So,
How did it work out that in both new proposals that the numbers are exactly the same in population?
In the districts.
In the wards?
did I get the wrong numbers? Maybe I,
I had one of these.
That would be unusual, yeah.
yeah, that is interesting. I'm thinking that's probably not right. Let's pull up. Because they're all different plans. It's,
I was just, you had mentioned that you're trying to keep a certain number and.
Really good.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, so I think
Yeah.
when I tried, this program's not real easy to print out.
Sure.
So if you actually look at this third plan where it goes across 51 and in the downtown, those numbers are inaccurate on the printout. If you look at your screen, Ward 1 has 1,005, Ward 2 has 997, so they are a little different. So it's so I guess I'm just looking for some feedback as far as, you know, do you like crossing highway? You know, the biggest distinction is where we cross the highway. I mean, there are subtleties, especially with District 2 moving and shifting a little bit some of the boundaries, but do you like the downtown being more in a consolidated area, consolidated district, or moving District 2 over into the newer neighborhood that's similar to what its characteristics are now?
So right, for plan number 1,
Uh-huh.
District 2 would then include the, what's the subdivision?
Orchard Heights.
Thank you. That's the biggest change.
Yep, if you see the orange on the bottom on the screen, yeah, that would kind of swing it down to the south across.
And I would get moved into District 1.
Oh, yeah, and the mayor gets moved. Thanks, Chris.
Well, that doesn't matter, because if you're mayor, you can move wherever you want.
Well, I can't vote for you, Tim, then.
You know what? Don't be saying that to reporters here.
That's the street, South Street, so where you at on when you're moving over on 51?
Let me
I can't see
zoom in a little bit and see what that is.
From where else, like,
Yep,
South,
south.
okay.
Yeah, that's, you know, the bad part is because they use so many roads, it splits a road. I try to avoid splitting neighborhoods between different aldermanic districts, but there's just some things that you just can't avoid. So yeah, South Street would be divided, Tyler and Sterling.
So if we look at Plan 2,
Uh-huh.
I want to make sure that I'm looking at this right. You're saying the Plan 2, the downtown area would be one district versus, right now, it's one side of the street, it's one district, the other side of the street is another
Well,
district.
it's Highway 51, so if you look at
Right,
this purple area.
I know it's Highway 51, but when you're talking with people down here, I mean, you downtown, it almost like, really? This side of the street?
Yes.
Here's one older person, that side of the street is another, almost doesn't make sense.
So what it did is it took, this is Highway 51 coming through. This purple area here always was in District 3.
Yeah,
So it's taking that area, the Catlin, Rollin, Broadway, and moving it into District 1. So I don't know that it's so much of a neighborhood, but I mean, it's the
Yeah.
quality, or, the types of home. It's an older neighborhood feel, so.
yeah.
It's kind of a puzzle. You click and you move and you have to stay contiguous, so you can't take a block from somewhere else, but trying to equal it out with the numbers and,
Now, I just want to ask a question about the
Yep.
numbers though. We talked about future growth, but everything you're planning here is based on the numbers, right? I mean, we're setting this on what happened with the census, not what's gonna happen in the next 10 years, correct?
pretty much. I mean, if you look at the numbers, just the plan that's up here, let me pull that up. So as you can see, 5 and 6, you'd add another 150. So yeah, they're all right around that 2,000 mark, which the bad part is if you look at the 1, 2, 3, 4th column, the deviation, I could add more population to District 1. It just skews those deviation numbers. They want you to stay within a 10%. 5 and 6, I can't avoid it because of the additional population that'll be picked up in Dane County. So, I mean, we can, it's just trying to find a block that makes sense to add there without trying to divide a neighborhood. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so why was Dane County put in 1 last time? Did it just need the numbers?
At the time, it was kind of just out there. The first houses were not really connected with District 3 because there was a distance there. They didn't start right on Thronson Road and kind of go out. So I think because we needed more population in District 1, we just went with District 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's starting to expand and, grow from Dane to Rock, it just makes sense to shift it.
Right.
But to take off of Casey's question about population, that spurred a question with District 2, out by West Meadows, what's the new subdivisions there, or condos?
Crystal Pine.
Bristol.
Thank you. So, population for that is not included in here, not that it's gonna be
No,
huge.
this would be the census, whoever answered the census from
Correct, so new,
development is not
No.
included at all.
okay, thank you.
No projections.
No projections,
These
either.
actual
Okay,
numbers.
okay.
I mean, there's the possibility of taking, like this little area that you could put into District 1. Again, then it's like, okay, these people on the other side of Head Street are really kind of alienated. They're in District 2 because if you take this great big block of 63,
Right.
it's a puzzle.
Yeah, well, that's
Right.
perfect.
When we do talk about dividing neighborhoods though, that when I looked at the district I was running in, those that you just referenced were the ones, and I didn't know the
How it-
separate blocks at that point.
Yeah,
But now, when I see that, I'm like, yeah, that is weird, going up one side of the street and not the other, and
yeah,
that those 3 blocks are like the rest of my district. Those are old, established
exactly.
homes, like that is so much like so much of the other area.
Yeah, so if you take, if you take those 3 small ones, well, then you've got the one where Terrace Court is, that's 170 people.
Mhm.
So, now you've got, now you're really skewed the other way, so it's,
Mhm. It is, you have such a challenge here, it is a puzzle, because I also wondered why it did that big scoop, because like,
I
for
know.
example, Barberry Lane divides it,
Yep.
I have friends who live in the very corner of it, and I'm like, I represent you, but people on 3 sides of you, I don't.
I
And
know,
they don't get it, they're like, I'll take your sign, I'm like, well, I
yeah.
don't really need it, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to actually show, how it's difficult, because it just makes sense. Why don't you include the other side of Barberry, or, what is it, First Street? Why is First Street? Well, it's how the blocks are built.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably have to make this to where it makes sense to the people that live in the area. To me, that's what it should be about.
And right now, I believe this map, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, because you're up in that area, the one where we take the downtown across Highway 51, those lines stay the same, I believe, as
That's the one you got up right now.
the
Yeah,
existing.
yeah, I think it's the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
it is.
so those neighborhoods, these neighborhoods wouldn't change at least. So they're, consistent with what they're accustomed to now. Where the second, or the first plan, they did get shifted, here. Now you've got this isolated piece that's divided by the railroad tracks, but you've got, the IKI Drive, you got the whole other side of, what is that, Stoughton Road?
Yeah.
So now you've got the division on Stoughton Road, so there's not an easy solution.
There's not, and, one thing, the way it is now, that could be said is, and I don't think anyone's anti-downtown, but I've always kind of thought it's good to have a majority of council members representing the downtown. That it could be, there could be problems if only 2 people did, and the majority didn't, represent the downtown.
Yeah, where, this one, you're taking that downtown area, you've expanded it some, but again, I always think of District 1 as being, the older part, it's the older part of town, the older homes in town. So at least the representatives for that area have that
Right.
in common with their population. So, any comments, suggestions for change, or I like this plan or not that plan, or,
Scroll up a little bit on this page a little bit so I can see the top of the map, please.
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, okay.
so there's the county line.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you've got this, little block of 9 here, with a 0, but then you've got 9 here and over at, right, it's,
Yeah,
Stoughton Road's all, at least the majority, well, all of Stoughton Road is all in District 2
yeah.
with this one. Which is, they always have been.
I was gonna say, they were in, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so this area doesn't change.
right.
The big change really is taking this section from District 3.
Okay.
I lose Ann Lynn.
What's that?
Ann Lynn, I lose Ann Lynn.
Well, but you're getting all the
No,
that
I still,
growth.
no, that's a joke, the mayor is Ann.
Okay.
Well, that one kind of looks probably like that makes the most sense, the plan too. What do you guys think?
Makes more sense if I wasn't here to see what historical, the two makes more sense to me.
Are the
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, please.
are the numbers accurate as you flip through them?
Are the numbers
On the bottom, the counts, they are representative of each?
on the, yes, on the screen, they are correct. Because they're actually 3 different plans. I'm not sure why this printed that way.
When would this take effect?
This would take effect prior to this spring's election, so that's why it's on the fast track. We have to approve
Because there's
it.
a lot of internal things you would have to do for voting.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Right, and, you know, once the county does a preliminary approval, then each municipality has to have their approval by, I think it's October 23rd, then it goes back for a final approval by the county again. And all that needs to be done before the notices have to be in the paper in November for what aldermanic districts are up for election, so you know what district to you would be representing, or if you were interested in running. So we have to have the notice in the paper in November. Papers start to circulate December 1st.
That's right.
Well,
So,
my candidacies got to be turned in, what, 2 weeks after that?
Correct, that's right, yep, okay. Yeah, and, that's interesting, so people, if you were to go and talk to people or whatever, they may not even know
right.
the district, okay?
Yeah.
The change.
A lot of times they don't know their
They may not
districts
know
now.
until they've signed in here.
Well, that's what I'm wondering too, yeah, exactly. You have to change all your system things too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Got it, thank you.
This is the first
It's a
step.
big thing. Good thing it's only every 10 years, right?
Yeah, this is my 3rd time. I won't do it again. So if I could get some direction?
Flip between the two? and-
Sure, let me move this down. So this is the one, let me go out a little bit. So this is the one that takes District 2 to the bottom, but it also takes this area that has been traditionally District 2, it moves it into District 1. Now it's this part of Stoughton Road that they're kind of alienated because they've got the railroad tracks. But they've been in District 2, so that wouldn't be a change. It would be this group of people, that would be the big change. And then these people down here would have to change. And unfortunately, this 174 has this little tail right up in here. Where the second plan keeps this line the same, but it moves this group of people out of District 3 into District 1. I mean, there's some, the ward, they might change wards, but it's not, that's really insignificant when people start wanting to know what ward they're in because we combine the two to make the districts.
And, the one we're looking at,
Uh-huh.
the bottom purple of 2's at 45, is that the white elephant? That's this side of High Street, right?
The 65 right here,
The
this
40
little,
The 45.
the 45 is, let's zoom in. So it's,
Nelson Young and,
yep, and, well, it must be the apartment building because this block only has 9. So it must be that, the Reinhardt, white elephant that must be there.
No, it's on the south side of Lot Street.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
So how can there only be 9 in that block? That's interesting.
And how could 45, where do they live? That's all
Well,
Nelson.
That's all
Road.
Nelson.
I didn't make the numbers up. I'm
Nine
sorry.
out of 28. You missed it. That's what
I just have to abide by them. It could have been, nobody responded to the census.
Right, I would say probably responded.
So there'd be a few houses on Main. I don't know how many are on Lawton. Isn't that
None.
mainly
It's
none?
all Nelson, yeah.
So would there be much for well, there's houses here. No, there aren't. I have no idea.
There's none on that block.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm wondering if I don't know.
I know you don't know, but it's weird.
It is
There are
weird.
no homes there.
I know.
It can be reversed because there's still going to be in
It's like,
there.
they show buildings, they don't even show the buildings in there. At least they have, there's nothing.
Yeah, that seems interesting.
I would guess that somebody probably put the apartment building in the wrong census block, but
The address may be kicked over the wrong way. One other questionable one in the, can't see it from here, but there's a 9 way up by north of racetrack.
oh, I know. Are there,
One house.
Oh, no,
there's
it's gonna be these houses here.
this block
Over here, with this one here.
Oh, that.
with there's a few houses right here, right?
Right, and that's probably right there with them. There's
This-
3 houses there.
This
That's the one
area?
that's questionable
Is
there.
there 2 now? There's a new one and one that was there before? No?
No idea.
Okay,
Just the new
just
one.
one? Okay. We have a big family.
They don't.
Which one, who, Chris? Dickinson?
Just before Tim's.
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 there, just one, you
Just
said?
one.
Okay. What about the other side there? Road,
It's a
by
different block.
Racetrack Park.
It's a different block.
Yeah, that's down on the other 9 by the racetrack.
Oh, okay,
That's that 9 there.
okay.
What's that's probably close, 'cause
Yeah.
there's 3 houses there.
So, if you brought an obvious error to someone's attention, will anyone do anything about it? Now, this is the US Census, and that's a crazy question to ask. But I'm a little uneasy, like, signing up on something that says there's 45 people in a square block that's all Nelson Young. but
At this
nobody
point,
lives
I think
on
it would probably take so long because this has taken so long to come out to begin with.
Mhm,
And, now everything's on the fast track.
right?
It may get resolved in a few years, but I'm not thinking anytime soon. I don't know, Mona, do you remember anything, any kind of,
Appeal?
yeah,
I do not. I think we have to use the tool we have.
Mhm.
yeah.
For the record, they have 60 days to respond. And based on recent history with them, they are ignoring all timelines.
Well, that's 60 days to respond, that doesn't mean 60 days to resolve.
No, that's, I'll get back to
60
you.
days is, okay, we
We'll
got
look into
we
it.
got your request, we'll look into it.
To make it work, I could pull that, 9 in there and that way.
That's what I was just thinking, how bad would that make the numbers?
Oh, I don't think it's gonna make it
Right.
much different at all. I've got it locked right now, so let me unlock it, but.
That would be the fix.
And that's a pretty
Just to
easy
ensure
fix.
that it's included.
Yeah.
It's just insincere to know this is wrong and then to take it. There's not a door to knock it.
Yeah.
So,
There's not
it's as
ways
easy
that
as that.
people- Yeah.
So it really has little effect on the numbers. And then gives that, District 3, that little bit of extra growth room, so.
Mhm.
District 2 is
So give Mona the ease of not having to deal with this
Thank you,
in
Cindy.
my absence.
Yeah, let's get some direction, so Cindy can take care of it.
With the, with the planned growth in 6, Cherry Street, that area, I do think it makes sense to put Dane County with.
In 3.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll be physically connected.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
neighborhood expands, they'll be touching soon, so it makes no sense to have it connected to one, I think.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this plan 2? Is the consensus to go with plan 2?
For ease of elections, I think Plan 2 would be less confusing to voters, but I don't, it's your decision. I don't want to be influential, but I just,
We don't want to confuse voters.
well,
It's
they
been an issue
confuse
right now.
enough.
It's an issue right now, I know.
Oh, jeez,
Nationwide.
Yes, make it as less confusing as possible.
Don't make it look sketchy.
Directions go with 2. And that also includes Dane County in mind, anyway, both of them did that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, both of them had
Did Dane County.
Dane County and District 3.
Would you like that as a motion so that?
Yeah.
But could you do like a creek, I think is the Broadway thing. I mean, could you flip another block or 2 from the western edge of 2? Give that to 2 and take away the 30 on,
The creek is more of a neighborhood though.
You
The
got
creek,
you got the creek there for the.
Yeah, see, this one is a creek,
That's
so
that
both
leaves-
sides of Broadway would be all in the same district and Schlesser here. Where
I see.
York Road, all of York Road then would be in District 3.
gotcha.
So this just made a really good, made sense of
Okay.
using that.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, it creates a natural boundary.
yeah, okay.
It'd be nice to be able to pull them in, but that's 533 people. Be pretty interesting. And then you start looking at this area and it's like, okay, it's half of a road again, a half of a street. So, Catlin, at least Catlin, the majority of this is Nelson Young, so you're not gonna break up the neighborhood so much, if that makes sense, so.
10 years from now, you might need that for the
Right.
next expansion.
Oh, exactly.
Choose the direction.
Oh, we need motion as direction, right?
I thought she said direction.
Whichever,
We can make number 2 a motion.
I mean, you'll do the final approval through an ordinance, so.
So we move that you take the direction on number 2.
Okay, move on.
Good one.
The motion is to proceed with plan number 2. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Burdick,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis.
Yes.
Motion
Thank
passes.
you. All right.
10 years ago, that was one of my first tie votes I got to break, was the.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
One of the first ones. So,
Yes,
Thank you, Cindy.
yes.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mayor, all the person and staff reports, like homecoming was mentioned earlier tonight, we got that coming up this week here for the fall team. Steve Stricker is captain of the Ryder Cup, they are playing this weekend, so if you haven't got tickets, it's probably on TV. Other than that, I don't have anything else, anybody have anything?
Oh, I'm sure I could stall for a minute.
We will schedule a committee of the whole meeting for the next Tampa Bay Monday night game.
November 22nd, I don't think anybody wants to come in on that.
Must be something we can do. Start at 8 o'clock. Nobody have anything?
Yeah, I'm excused.
I'll make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Thank you, everybody.